Alright guys, welcome back to another video. A little different today. With the Rise of the Beasts Transformers movie coming out soon, I thought it would be great to do a little unboxing of the new toy lineups. So here I was able to find the Studio Series Bumblebee, and this is a deluxe class figure right here. And yeah, so we're just gonna do a little unboxing, test it out, see how it goes. So I believe the last Transformers toy I unboxed was actually going to be Soundwave from the Bumblebee film. And that is a very nice Soundwave. I'll throw up a picture of it right here. I was also able to get Ravage, and it took me a while to find, but I did end up finding Rumble for him as well. So that's a good set right there. And then right off the bat, this new packaging makes it really easy, and I do believe this comes out and you can use it as like a background if you want. Yep. So then, nice background right here. Looks like it's the middle of a field or something. I'm assuming there's going to be a big battle here in the film, and then obviously that same background is here. So looks like you get his sword right here, and this looks to be the blaster. Honestly, this one seems fine for what it's worth. This blaster though, for me personally, when it comes to Transformers toys, I don't really like these hollow parts like this, and this feels pretty cheap, but for the purpose of what this toy is, I'm sure this will work just fine. It looks like it's probably just gonna snap to one of his arms right there. But here's actually Bumblebee himself. So right off the bat, I gotta say, I think this one is compared to this one I have right here, which came in a barricade set, this one is still pretty good. It's similar. The coloring is a bit different though. This yellow is more of like I don't want to say bland yellow, but compared to what's on the box, you can see in the box it does look a little bit darker, and like kind of the Bumblebee from the Bayverse we're all used to he's more of like that, kind of like that orange yellow, whereas this is just like flat, like American cheese colored yellow. It's not terrible, but I do wish it was a little bit darker, but I understand, the reasoning for it. But to me, it's not really a game changer or anything like that. I still think overall the figure looks absolutely fantastic, and it's almost like they combine the elements of the first Transformers movie with the one from Bumblebee in this design. Obviously, given that they have the 77 Camaro, and they kind of took other aspects of Bumblebee, like the head sculpt looks like it's the one from Bumblebee, and then the feet right there, or the shoes you could say. I guess Transformers don't really wear shoes, so. Alright, here he is. Now, from what I've seen with most Bumblebee toys, it's pretty standard, obviously, to have the doors come out in the back like that, and then they always have the front wheels kind of sticking out in the front. So I'm just kind of used to that by now. Very similar, and I gotta say, I do kind of like the whole off-road scheme they have for his vehicle form now. Obviously, he's not transformed now, but you can see the car right there. I think it's great. It's like a nice little rally setup right there. So this is gonna be pretty cool to see in the film. I did hear that the film was actually supposed to be one of the shortest Transformers movies, if not the shortest one in the lineup so far. So I really hope it doesn't mean it's any less actiony or good or anything like that. I'm looking forward to this movie very much. The last Transformers movie I saw in theaters was actually Transformers 3, and I never saw, no, I take that back, it was 4. I never saw The Last Night in theaters. I thought it looked stupid. To this day, I've still never seen that film, and I don't plan on watching it, to be honest, and I missed Bumblebee in theaters. But, for the time being here, let's see if we can put the blaster on and see how he looks with that. Okay, so yeah, so this just clips on right to his hand. Okay, you know what? I actually do kind of like that. So you can have his blade in this hand, the blaster in the other. And then this is kind of what I was talking about before with these like hollow pieces. Like obviously this design makes sense because it's going to slide over his wrist. But if you flip the underside right here, you can kind of see these, hollow pieces like that. To me specifically, these are just kind of a turn off to the Transformers, but it's not really going to be a huge deal breaker, especially in this one, where, it's not really that noticeable, especially if you have them, if you have them in a specific pose or something, you're not even really going to, tell the difference, I can barely even put him on here. But yeah, overall, I'd say this figure is very nice looking. You know, nothing too crazy with it. It just honestly kind of reminds me of like your standard Bumblebee toy you get. You know, you get what it's worth, you know, a deluxe class figure. It's not a leader class by any means, or a Voyager, but, you know, for what it's worth, it's very good. And then another thing I found, which I actually want to test out, is these mini ones. I found one for Cheetor. And this one right here actually has a pretty easy transformation sequence. If I'm trying to remember it correctly. I believe this piece is supposed to pop up. No, maybe I'm breaking it. I don't know. There we go. Yeah, this little piece pops out here. This comes up, kind of inverts, and then I think it's just the legs come out here and go like this. And I pretty much think this is it for the most part. And then it's supposed to be like a sword you can use, so I thought it'd be fitting if I put Cheetor with Bumblebee. And look at that, it fits. So if you get the mini ones, you can use the new Bumblebee with Cheetor as a weapon like this. And I think that's pretty dang cool. Alright, so after showcasing that, I think it's safe to say we should get into the transformation. Now I was just looking at the back too, and you can actually, apparently you can actually store his weapons on the back of his doors right here. If you don't want him to be using them at the time, so look at that. The sword cutout fits perfectly right there. And then this one just clips right onto there. So that's actually pretty cool. You can kind of see him dangling in the background, but yeah. Alright, there we go. These clips here are very tight. I had to use a pretty decent amount of pressure to put those in. So if you are looking to pick up this figure for yourself, yeah, just know that it's pretty tight to get the back in there. But once you get it in, it's in there and it's solid. I just noticed this is actually pretty interesting. So in robot mode, he has a separate bumper right there. And then in the vehicle mode, there's a second one that pretty much kind of covers it. So that's a little interesting right there. They don't reuse the same front piece of the bumper. It appears I've done something incorrect with the arms. Unless you want him to sit like this. Actually, no, I think that might be correct. You can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think the arms just, you know, 'cause I don't see how else they're gonna, you know, fit in any of their spaces down there. So I think the arms are just kind of supposed to just be chilling like that. And then I'm reading here, then if you want to, you can take the sword and the blaster attachment, and you can hide them under here too, so you don't lose them. So that fits right in there. Well, that's actually a pretty nice fit. Yeah, there's supposed to be a way to fit the blaster here, but honestly, I'm not even gonna keep it on there. I think the look looks better like this. And then, yeah, supposedly this is the vehicle form Bumblebee. Now, it does roll, so the arms do make enough clearance. And honestly, I gotta say, once it's put together, it does look pretty clean. You know, all the gap panels here, especially in the windows and the doors, they fit very nicely. Like I said, the only difficult part I had was clicking these in the back, but once they are clicked in, it stays. And, you know, the only noticeable gap I really see kind of is with the this front A-pillar here in the window. You can kind of see a slight gap in there, but honestly, it's not really that noticeable unless you're completely nitpicking. But overall, I'd say this is fairly easy to transform. I'm just terrible at transforming toys, so don't mind my, you know, don't mind me right there on that part. My only, I guess, gripe I would say with it is just these arms. I feel like, you know, maybe they could have found a way to tuck them in better, unless, again, this is just me being stupid and not knowing how to do it properly. But from what I gathered with the instructions and how it looks on the box, I do think it is supposed to be like this. So, I mean, for me, to be honest, it is, I won't want to say a complete deal breaker, but, you know, if I'm going to be displaying this anywhere in vehicle mode, I'm going to make sure it's not on a high shelf where you can see it like that, but rather like this where you can't see it. I always like this part of the Bumblebee Transformers toys where the front bumper comes down like that. It reminds me of this scene from the first movie. But yes, overall, I would say, you know, in terms of, you know, the toy itself, I like it. I like it a lot. You know, the robot farm has, you know, a lot of movement, right? It's got full leg movement right here. It's even got knee joints. Does have hip rotation as well. You know, even the feet rotate as well too, fully around, which is nice. The arms, same way right here, although, you know, you can only raise them. You can't really raise his arms above his head unless, you know, yeah, you can't really do it. The most you can do is this T-pose right here. But, you know, the elbows have rotation like that. And you can't rotate the forearms. So you definitely have more movement in the legs than the arms do. If you're not, you know, if that doesn't really bother you too much, then, you know, this figure is great. And then, you know, obviously the doors you can adjust. The wheels you kind of can't. I mean, you can kind of tuck them in like that if you want. But, I mean, the farthest they go out is here. And then the head sculpt is a very nice head sculpt. And then even the front bumper, I do like how this part, you know, angles down from the headlights, how it is in the films. But overall, I would say this is a very nice figure. I would honestly probably display this. And, you know, in terms of rating on her, you know, in terms of transforming, you know, once you get the hang of it, it does get fairly easy to transform, and the parts do fit together very tight. So it kind of makes it a little bit harder to transform back into robot mode, in my opinion, but it's great for keeping it in vehicle mode because you know it's going to stay in that mode. It's not gonna, you know, like you have some other Transformers toys that tend to, you know, come apart when they're transformed. I don't think you'll really get that much with this Bumblebee right here. Overall, I'd probably give this one about an 8 out of 10. The only gripes I have, which were what I showed earlier with the vehicle mode, how his arms kind of stick out there, but again, that could just be user error. And then, you know, I don't really like these hollow parts right here and the arms right there. And I wish the arms maybe had a little bit more rotation, but I mean, for what it's worth, it's not terrible by any means. And just overall, the figure looks great. And I honestly don't really have that, you know, that much negativity to say about it though. You know, the gripes I have with it outweigh the good, or sorry, the good outweigh the negative gripes I have about this toy. Yeah, I would definitely get another one again. This one is one of the better ones. And yeah, I'd say that about does it for this review. Thanks for watching, guys. If you want to see more in the future, leave a comment down below. I did see that they are starting to release the Optimus Prime ones in stores now too. So who knows, maybe I'll open that one in the future. All right, thanks for watching.